everybody. Welcome to Sound Check with Ridenour Robinette. I'm here with my partner, Jimbo Robinette. What's happening, JR?
Not much, buddy. It's my pleasure to be here once again with you, sitting on our couch here at Robinette Studios. Oh, I like the way that sounds.
What is this, the Robinette show?
Robinette Studios. Anyway,
well, it is your house, so.
It's a beautiful day. I'm glad to have you here. And also Jason Setowi, our producer and engineer, and our designer, I guess you would say our web designer as well. We want to thank him for being here. Jason, good to see you, buddy.
Thanks. Good to see you.
And Keith, it's
Good
always
to
a
be
pleasure. So what do you got going on lately? Everybody always is interested in what you have going on in your life, in your business right now.
Getting ready to move. Always fun. And I'll be moving the studio. But as far as work goes, the usual stuff, doing a lot of writing. Writing for the Ad and Sync stuff with Peer Music. And then I've got 3 or 4 writers that we're doing projects with. So that definitely keeps me busy and spending time with the kids.
So you're based out of Boca Raton. That's where you've been living for quite a few years.
Yeah, we were going back and forth between Tennessee or Murfreesboro and Boca. But now we're back full time.
So not only are you writing songs for Sync, but you also help other folks write songs as well. For instance, any musician that has an idea or a vision on a song, they would actually reach out to you and say, hey, Keith, got an idea. Can you help me out with it? You would book a session, either an hour, 2 hours, 3 or whatever it is. And they would come to your studio, or you would visit them? Or?
Either they come to the house, at the studio at the house, or we'll meet at Marquee. It works a couple different ways. Sometimes somebody just wants to start songwriting, okay? So a lot of times you'll find people write poetry, and they want to see if they can turn them into songs. So we definitely do that. I've got a couple people right now that basically they'll write a poem or poems, or they have a book of them, and then they'll want to take 2 or 3 of them and actually turn them into songs. So it's almost like a songwriting lesson and a writing session all together. That's kind of how I look at it. And other people have 10 songs. They just want to do a record. So you know that project, you're going to go through each song.
So they're all different situations.
All different situations.
So someone might come to you completely cold and say, let me give you a hypothetical. I just broke up with my girlfriend. I have some thoughts in my head. I want to do a ballad, kind of like a Simple Man. Can you help me with that? That's an idea.
Right.
They can come with you and say, I got all the lyrics. I've wrote a poem for my mother when she died years ago. I have an idea and I have a hook.
Yep.
Some people I have nothing. I don't know anything about anything. I have thoughts in my head.
Right.
So you have to take each client, figure out where they're at. And some of them will have all the pre-production done and say, hey, can you mix us or can you produce it?
It could be totally from scratch. It could be, I have a couple songs right now where somebody had an existing track that they got from someone else, so you can't manipulate it, unless you have the multi-track. So, you wind up trying to do what I call a marriage. So they have this poem, they love this track that somebody gave them 4 years ago, and they want to sing over the track. Sometimes people call that a top line, which means you're taking an existing track and you're just going to write lyrics or sing your poem over the top. So then it's kind of a marriage because there's nothing you can do. You're kind of stuck with whatever's on that 2-track. For the most part. Another situation is somebody has 4 or 5 songs that they've written. They have their own studio. They can do just enough to maybe get your guitar vocal happening. So they might have the framework of the song, the shape of the song, the key of the song, but that's all they got. And they go, I want to do a record with these 10 songs.
Okay, so every scenario is a little bit different.
Every scenario is different.
So you basically evaluate that, you put it all together, and you figure out, give a ballpark figure, give them an idea of pricing and what we're going to need to do to get done.
Right.
And some of them may not want to do much with it. They might just want it for their own personal use.
Exactly.
So it's a different story there.
Yeah.
Or they may want other people to hear it, or it may go on social media, or they may have some kind of small spec deal with some small little company that wants songs.
Right.
So every situation is
different.
Every
situation is different. I had somebody that just wanted to record 2 or 3 songs of their own so they could use on TikTok.
Right.
I have another friend of mine, my age, He's not trying to get a record deal or anything. He's just had these songs over the course of years, and he wants to get them out there. He's probably going to play them for family, friends. Doesn't mean he's not going to try to get them out into the world, on social media, etc. It's just that his plan from the get-go, he's not trying to go out and tour, do a record deal or anything else. And then there's people that they want a career in music. So where do they start? They could be a great singer, but they've never actually written a song before. So they just kind of want to know, okay, how do I get going?
Okay, so if they were interested, once again, using your services, I know we mentioned this before, they can go to the site or they could just reach out to you through our podcast.
Or through our podcast or on Messenger, Keith Ridenour. I have a website called redonemusicgroup.com. There's a handful of artists that were just, in the beginning, they were singer-songwriters. We wound up doing full records. And then there's a jukebox page with totally all different genres. So it could be pop, R&B, rock, country, Latin. It's just all there.
So if you're interested in songwriting in any way, shape, or form, doesn't matter
And
where you're
having
at.
fun.
You could be a complete newbie, or you could be doing this for decades.
Yep.
If you need a hand and need assistance, you might want to reach out to my friend Keith Ridenour. So, Keith, what's your question to me today?
My question to you is, what's happening with your shows?
Well, here's the thing. We just did a few shows. We had a huge weekend. These live shows, good weather. It's now season. The momentum is huge. I'm getting 300 to 500 on the small end. I'm getting 1,000 plus on some shows. Things have been going really good.
Talking about people?
Talking about people. So Southern Blood is doing really well. Momentum is there. We're almost 6 years in, five or 6 years in. I don't know.
Man, that's crazy.
Todd Jones, our newest member from St. Louis, who your friend Tommy Snellgrove introduced me to, who you know well.
Mm-hmm.
He's working out really well. So our past weekend went really good. I'm just looking for some other shows. If you're interested, well, you could always go to Southern Blood Band and come see us. I got a new project I'm doing. I'm trying the Leonard Skinner tribute band, the Freebirds. We've talked about it for years. We just never really found a piano player or a third guitar player. Putting the pieces together now, things are going good. I got a huge show on April 13 at the Miniachi Theater, which is at Nova University.
Oh, cool.
Tickets are for sale. You can just go to the Miniachi Theater online, and we would love to have you. So hopefully that will pick up momentum because the band all grew up on that kind of music.
Wait
and we're
a second.
really
You
excited
said you need a third guitar player?
Yeah, we might need a third guitar player. But then again, we're already dealing with two. Why, Jason, do you play guitar? Oh, you meant you. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Jason.
Yeah.
So that's going really good.
That's my boy.
Other than that, things are going good. Business is good. Main Event Talent Agency is super, super busy right now. It's season. And season in Florida, South Florida, is just amazing if you're in the music business because we all know it takes a shit. June, July, August, the heat.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't been playing out that often for the last few years, but you remember it very well.
Oh, yeah.
The heat is just, I can't tell you how many musicians, I probably have, 100 musicians that work for me in these outdoor gigs. It doesn't have to be older. People think it's just the older folks who are getting overwhelmed. No, if I got kids out there strumming guitars for 4 hours, when it's 95 or 98 degrees, the humidity is another level. So, I mean, it's just brutal. So we're really happy doing the season gigs. We're all in. So things are going really good. Music business is booming. The music scene is slamming right now. Festivals, outdoor shows, tons of concerts coming up. So that's going pretty good. The podcast, by the way, for everybody out there listening, is getting momentum as well. We've been getting really good responses. We want to thank once again Eugene from the Van Halen tribute band, Completely Unchained. Killed it, got a bunch of great responses from his podcast. And we have some great guests coming up as well. So that's it. So if you're interested, once again, we want to make sure you hit the subscribe button.
Yes.
Today's a big day. We're going to get into a few other things, and we're going to take a break. Just take a minute, and we're going to be right back.
See ya.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hey!
Welcome back to
What was the lick?
Ridenour. Give me a little. Give me a little. Yes.
That sounds like it's more like an outro.
Good job. Go ahead.
Welcome back, everybody,
What do you got?
to Robinette show.
What do you got for me?
Well, we had a guest. We had a special guest today. Unfortunately, they got tied up.
Another one?
Another one.
There's got to be a price to pay, man.
You know.
I'm not going to sit here and wait all afternoon for a guest to show up. These rock stars.
No, our guest will be on a later date. Unfortunately, they are very ill with COVID. So we're just going to pull something out of the hat, okay? We just found this out about 20 minutes ago.
I just want you to know that, you know how I was talking about last podcast, how people, they observe everything.
Mm-hmm.
So today, just want you to know, I didn't go with the sweatpants. I went with the jeans.
Some very slick shoes.
I didn't go with the sneakers who I got abused by.
Did you really?
People are like, So I put on some, I don't even know what these are, loafers, whatever you call these things.
Yeah, they're sharp.
Okay. And and you don't have the foot wiggling.
I tried,
I don't have the pillow near me, which I've been accused of covering the pillow with my fat. People are
listen,
brutal.
Dare to be fat. Fat's where it's at. We're having a ball with cholesterol. No, that's a song.
I miss eating, man.
Hold on. Root Boy Slim. What was it? The band that did that. That's an actual real song.
Dare to be fat. Fat is where it's at.
How's everybody doing? So we're going to pull one out of the hat right after Dare to be Fat.
You didn't brief me on this one. Okay, go ahead.
No. So some days you just got to wing it a little. It's all good.
Oh, no.
So let's do this today.
Let's
Talk about stage wear. Now, what the hell is that? Well, here's my question, Jimbo. Do you today, since you're not only in several bands, but you're booking several bands, I remember back when I was playing full-time years ago, everybody showed up, everybody was wearing a certain type of vibe per band, the genre, etc. Everybody usually was decked out. Sometimes on Facebook, I'll see a band setting up for a show. They're doing a video, and then I see them performing, and they're almost in the same clothes. So I guess my question is, for those bands that are just getting going, for those bands that have been out there for a while and maybe need a reminder, maybe they don't, or maybe just people are wondering. If I go to see a show, is there a perception from the club owner when he hires the band that they're going to look a certain way, dress a certain way when they get out there on stage and play?
Well, first of all, you mentioned club owner. So I think it's more widespread. It could be a club owner, could be the manager, it could be the people,
promoter,
could be a festival. I mean, I think they cared a lot more back in the day. I think we all cared a little bit more, like, when we were kids or younger. I don't think we just wear a t-shirt and jeans. We always went the extra mile. God forbid we were wearing, I don't know, should I say it? Members only jacket, Capizios,
parachute
spandex,
pants,
parachute pants. We cared a little bit more back then the way that we looked.
You sure about that?
As far as the cover bands in all these areas, I think it matters on the gig itself. If you're doing outside tiki on the water, well, you're wearing outside sandals, you're chilling. If you're playing a rock concert at one of the local hard rock places, you got to come with the jeans and the boots and the accessories and maybe a hat or your hair down, whatever it may be. If you're going to a dance club, wear a nice cool blazer, some cool shoes. If you're in a redneck band, wear redneck clothes, cowboy. I think you got to fit the room,
right,
is what they could. Now, you could always tell the people who just don't give a shit. Am I the ones as an agent to tell them? Sometimes I am.
I think you have to sometimes.
Yes, in some situations, but you also don't want to offend anybody, so you got to be, business is business.
Would you address that like, hey guys, just want you to know there is a certain dress code? I guess.
Well, I don't have to say it verbally because the way my business is set up, they already know prior.
Gotcha.
So nowadays, because you don't have to make a phone call, everything is through the through internet, through the emails, through agreements, through contracts, so they see it. Do they abide by it? Hopefully they do. It's not a real too pressing of an issue too much. I think bands know what they need to do. Now, you go online, you look at all the local bars. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't give a shit anymore. It's if they bring a really good band, it's a weird thing. Because if you got a really good band, I don't want to use an example of a name, should I?
No.
Let's use a name. Okay, let's use it. Let's just throw a name out there. Okay, Mr. Nice Guy. one of the biggest bands around for many years. You know, they don't come with elaborate clothes. They don't need the fancy shirts and the pants and the hat. No, they're badass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As soon as you know they hit the first note, you know what you got coming.
Right.
And sometimes it's cool to see they're just kind of relaxed and they're wearing their thing.
Right.
So you got to be respectful of that. If you see a band that's up and coming and they're not so good or not so tight or not so strong, you got to be a little more well-rounded. So that's where I would come
Yeah,
with that.
I think it's like the difference between when you're sitting there in the audience and you see somebody walk through the club and you go, "Oh, they got to be in the band." Versus you could just tell, you know, they're
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know.
Or they'll look like that even when they're not playing in the band.
exactly.
Like
you show up
I
at
got a
7-Eleven and
handful of names that come to and they, yeah, right, anywhere. You know, they'll come to another show or another place or a restaurant and they're always dressed to the
Right.
nines. Like being this is South Florida, and a lot of our people are South Florida listeners. Jamie King Colton comes to mind. Jamie King Colton. This guy is like, he's been around, I don't even know, man. He's been around since, I don't even know how long, but the guy just always dresses to the nines.
Oh, yeah.
The hat, the
Jamie's
leather,
great.
the
I know,
boots,
I
the
know.
chains. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, that's his thing.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and when he walks in the door of any place,
you know who it is.
you know who it is. Kenny
Yep.
Wendland. Kenny Wendland is another guy. There's several names of people that have been around for a long time. They bring it where they go. They care about the way
Yep.
that they look.
Yeah.
You know, me,
just didn't-
I'm
I
a
just
different
didn't-
person. You know, I just wear shorts and a t-shirt and some sneakers. It makes me comfortable. But
Yeah, that's cool. I just didn't know if, like, with all the places you book, is there some kind of perception where bands got to be told, or like you said, they just already know?
Yes.
You know?
the answer is yes.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of them
Right.
because the people that work for me or work for my agency, they already know.
So I guess at the end of the day, folks, you know who you are. Do you need to be reminded, or do you just always bring it? Or
And also remember this, I got to tell you this, that this is a good note to know. Everywhere you go in this country, or even worldwide, internationally, there's little areas of music groups, Orlando, up in Jacksonville, in Tampa, so on and so on, Tallahassee, here, Georgia, Atlanta. They're all a little bit different. The atmosphere, the vibe, the music business, the industry, up in Michigan, New York, it goes on and on. Nashville, as you're familiar with. It's just different. It's everywhere you go is a little bit different. There's that atmosphere, there's that vibe, there's something that they expect. Being Nashville is an example. I mean, I was on Music Row for 9 days, 9 days, every day. You know, they kind of came prepared.
Oh, yeah,
You knew who
yeah.
they were when they walked in the door.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and sometimes you'll go up the coast a little ways in Daytona, a small little hole in the wall, and the guy looks like he just crawled out of a cardboard box, you know, off the street.
well,
So,
it's interesting that you said that, and we'll end with this little note. The first time I ever went to the Bluebird Cafe, which is world famous for songwriters in Nashville, I had never been there. I think it was maybe 1997, 98, something like that. I didn't know what to expect. I was just super excited. 4 writers sit down. I think there was 1 female who played piano, 3 males. And I just didn't know what to expect. And all of a sudden, they start playing the hits that they've written for all these big artists. Okay.
oh.
And I was just like, wow. Because that guy who just played this hit by whoever, Garth Brooks or Keith Urban,
Right.
he didn't come off. In other words, you wouldn't
You would have
see
never
him.
known in a million
and,
years.
And don't get me wrong, there are writers that you know, they're just, because they're performers too. Versus a great songwriter. You know, he's got jeans on, sneakers, t-shirt, Fender t-shirt or whatever, but you may have seen him in the carpool line yesterday.
Right.
So that doesn't come up like
That's
that.
kind of cool. I
there.
like the way that is.
Yeah, yeah.
So obviously, for people that don't know, there are tens, if not thousands, of guys or girls that just sit in their studio and write songs for other people, and we just don't know who they are unless they're on
Right.
that album. They got the
Right.
credit.
And then
so
you
would never
research
know if
them.
they're at Publix or 7-Eleven,
Right.
sitting in line at the car wash, because you just don't know who they are. But they've made maybe $200 million over the
whatever.
course of 2 decades
They've
writing
just
hit songs.
They're just very successful, and they're low key and mild, and within the community, everybody knows them. But if they showed up at, Publix or Kroger's, most people wouldn't know who they are unless they were a performing songwriter.
Well,
anyway,
it's obvious that me and Keith are not those people, because here we are in my living room doing a podcast. I want everybody to stick around. Keith, great to see you, man. You look
Good to
great.
see you,
You
man.
sound great.
Good to see
Can you
you.
just give me a little backup something, a little, I don't care what it is, maybe a little funky something there. Want to make sure that you guys stick around, because our next segment, if you thought this segment was good, wait till you hear the next one. Man, are you going to be excited. So stick around. This is Soundcheck with Ridenour and Robinette.
take care.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Soundcheck with Ridenour and Robinette.
Hey.
Here we are once again. We thought it would be really cool to share with folks out there, songwriters, or maybe you're just interested in starting out in music. It doesn't really matter what your situation is. We're going to go start from the beginning. We're going to talk about how the process works. And this is going to be, we're going to let Keith start it, because this is what Keith does. He's done it for many years. I'm just a schlep. I'm just holding this guitar. Really, I don't know how to play it.
It looks good, though. It looks
I'm
good.
just
It's
gonna
good
hold
looking
it,
guitar.
And we'll see where it goes from there. But Keith, tell us, I'm going to try to get you from the very beginning. We talked about it earlier in an earlier segment. There's different situations with people. Some people have an idea. Some people have lyrics. Some people have a whole section of a song. Some people have just a kind of a round of an idea of what they want to hear. So how would you start out this segment on, like someone wanted to write a song?
Well, here, we were talking about earlier on the break. I thought our guest was not able to make it today, so let's try to write a song. What are we going to write a song about? Well, since you perform out a lot,
yeah.
why don't we try to write a song that maybe fits your band? So sometimes when you get together to write with 2 or 3 people, whoever it is, you don't have the luxury of having an artist or the singer in the room with you, number one. Number two, sometimes you're just writing to write, but if you have some place to send that song or an artist in mind, excuse me, let's say somebody is looking for songs for their next record. So we might sit down together and write, but man, if we had that singer and that artist in the room with us to check the key, to see if they dug this melody, to find a sweet spot in their voice, man, it's night and day. So I thought, since you've got Southern blood, let's try to come up with an idea for the band that you guys could perform out.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw some ideas at you.
Okay.
I know you weren't planning on this.
I'm not planning on any of it. I'm winging it.
I don't know. We talked a little bit earlier.
No, we talked about it, but
I know, but I don't want you yelling at me. Okay.
No.
So let's say, I'm in Southern rock. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and you know tons of Southern rock songs because we grew up with that. So you already have an idea of kind of like an outside of idea. How would you use an analogy? If you were building, let's say build a house.
Yep.
Okay, so the foundation is Southern rock.
Right.
Okay, let's start. So we got that. So the next thing is kind of like, what kind of groove or tempo am I looking for? Am I looking for a ballady kind of thing? Am I looking for a dance thing? Am I looking for a sing-along? Are you looking for an idea? Like if I give you an idea like that, would that be a start?
Yeah,
I have an idea.
I think I've seen the band a bunch of times, and I would probably not start out with an up-tempo barn burner,
Right.
and I probably wouldn't do a ballad either. I would probably do something kind of mid to upper mid where I could see the audience singing along with you guys.
That's what I like.
And I would make it about the band, okay? We're not writing a love song. We're not writing a breakup song. Let's make it about the band, because this is kind of, we're making it up as we go. So
like a story of like the band where they kind of like started out and
yeah, where
on the
you started
road.
out, or you're on the road, or you're getting ready to do a show.
chicks or no chicks?
We could have chicks in the second verse.
All right, second
Or
verse
maybe not chicks, but maybe chicks, but maybe they're down front.
Oh, okay. Chicks.
So there's no relationship going on. They're as much as you'd love
No,
that.
I just like chicks, Daisy Dukes. I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. My daughter.
He's looking for a video. He's looking for the video before we write the song.
Okay, let's back up. Okay, so something to do with the band.
So we would talk about, just like we are now, the great thing is, since you're the singer, it's your band. You know, I mean, there's collectively the whole band, but I mean,
I like it just being me.
I know that. I know.
I'm not
You're
interested in the band members.
It's okay.
So I have an idea. I want something like kind of cool, something like funky.
Yeah, I mean, I would just do something that we can kind of groove to, and then we'll just build it. And just kind of, for those people who don't know, we're just kind of trying to find some crumbs. We're trying to find some little ideas to put together. Lyrically, whatever we come up with in this next 10, 15 minutes, they're probably what we call placeholders, some of them. Some of the melody would be different. But the cool thing is we're going to come up with an idea, and the guy that's going to be actually singing the song is in the room while we're writing it. So that's a big plus. So anyway, maybe a groove like mid to up, like just kind of something I could see everybody moving to.
Is that in G or E?
E minor.
E minor. I could sing in any key, by the way, so it doesn't matter.
So maybe that's the groove, you know? And maybe we do.
I already like it.
Maybe we do a chord progression.
Yeah.
This is really simple, but people do a lot, where it's the same chords through the verse, the pre, the chorus, if we have a pre.
Some of the best songs in the history.
But we're
have
changing
2 or 3 chords
up
only. Yeah.
in different sections, the melody or the accent. Maybe they're longer notes versus shorter notes.
Yes.
So maybe in the verse we try to go with a more ba 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 ba. You know, so there's
And then the
more
chorus
lyrics.
is
It's
ba,
yes, it's
da,
or something.
big.
So they're longer notes and more notes in the verse.
And it doesn't have to be a pre-chorus always either.
No, it can just be.
Verse chorus.
It can be a turnaround where it's not a pre, like back in the 80s, we would do a full pre
Right.
with big background harmonies and everything. And maybe it's just like a turnaround, and it's a little thing we call vocal ease. It might be some O's or Ahs or doo-dahs or whatever it is. And maybe it's with a guitar. And then we get into the chorus. All right. So again, to review.
Well, let me share this with them.
Okay.
You hear what he's saying for your songwriters out there. He's done this over and over and over and over. So this is years of knowing what best fits a certain groove. So he didn't just throw this out there. He has an idea. He has a vision. He's done this several times. So when they say roll through, sometimes the best songs that have ever been written are just kind of just moving through the same chord. But like you said, the melody moves, right?
It's the melody. The melody changes and builds, comes back down, builds. I mean, there's so many great songwriters, and everybody's got their own way to do things, and they've been successful with. This is just one way that works for us right this minute, trying to show everybody how would we start something, because we're just going to kind of wing it. But the cool thing is we got the singer, we got the band, we already know the key is going to work.
Right.
And unfortunately, sometimes you don't know that. You know, if we were writing for, pick a band, if we were writing something to pitch to Blackberry Smoke, I use that because of Southern rock stuff, we would go figure out where Charlie's range is.
Right.
Okay. What key are the majority of their big songs in? Where is Charlie's voice when he's peaking? Where's the sweet spot when he hits the chorus? Where does he bottom out at? I guarantee you we're not going to hear it because he wouldn't write it that way. But that's what we would do if we were trying to write a song and pitch it to them. In our case, you're the singer, so we already know. So we save ourselves a bunch of steps.
But also the singer, being me, kind of knows where I want to go.
Exactly.
In other words, it's from scratch, but I kind of know where I want to go.
Right. And it's not how high can you sing,
right,
or how low. It's where do we get that sound out
sweetness?
Of your voice? We just call it sweet spot.
Sweet spot.
Where is that thing in your voice where when we hit the chorus, and we may not find it out exactly in the next 10 or 15 minutes, but we're going to get started. Okay.
Okay.
So let's do the song. I'll do the groove. Let's do it about the band. Maybe the band's all together on a bus or a truck or cars, and we're rolling into town. I'm envisioning us getting out the Fillmore. I'm you know,
1969 or
I'm envisioning us all pull in like the old days, and we get out the station wagon, the trailer,
kick drum, the bass drum,
and
guitar,
and we get out and we're looking up at the marquee, and it has the name of the band on it. It's Southern blood.
I like it. I like where it's going.
All right, so we're just having fun, guys. So
That's
let's
good.
just roll it, and we'll see.
Like
what
an
we
E
come up
minor.
with. We'll do like a groove
E
on
minor.
the intro.
You got a lyric? Come on, give me something.
Rolled in the town, got off the bus. Okay, hold on.
Okay, I like it already.
Rolled in the town, got off the bus. Tailgate came down, there were 6 of us. It's rolled in. I'm trying to make it like
Nope, good number. 6 is a good number. 5 band members and the driver.
There you go.
Or the young lady who decided to take the ride with us. Go ahead.
And you have a bus now. You have a bus.
And I got a bus.
You got a bus.
All right, we're ready.
He didn't have a bus earlier today. He's got a bus
got a bus now.
All right.
Here we go.
Hold on.
All right.
Let me think of the bus. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to picture it like a little movie. Picture us rolling in. We all get out. Trailer gate comes down. We're all unloading the gear.
Yes.
And we do the show.
We're already doing the show?
Well, no, I'm trying to envision.
Oh, okay. I don't want to get right to the show. We got a sound check. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, so 3. Rolled in the town, got off the bus. Rolled in the town, got off the bus. Tailgate came down, there were 6 of us. Unpack the gear, set the stage. Lights came down and we rocked the place.
Rock
the place?
Good enough idea.
All right, let's try that again.
But
I
then
don't
again,
remember
we
what I
talked
said.
about putting in, what'd you call it earlier? What was your expression? You're putting in the crumbs, but you're putting in the
Yeah,
little
it's like baking
pieces.
a cake. We're just trying to put the pieces together. I call them crumbs, because you started with something.
But it's an idea.
It's an
So
idea.
what you could do is if you record this on any kind of, you listen back and you go, you start to change
Right.
the lyric.
Too many syllables there. This rhyme could be better.
Okay, let's do it.
Right now, guys, these are just kind of placeholders to give you the picture.
Placeholders. I like that
Placeholders
one.
to give you the picture of where we're heading. All right, let's try that again.
Let's head. Let's
All right,
get
hold
there.
on. Let me
Come on,
remember
talk
what
to
the
it.
hell it was. 3.
hold on.
Rolled in the town, got off the bus. Tailgate came down, there were 6 of us. Unpacked the gear, set the stage. Lights came on, lights went down. Lights went down and we rocked the place. All right, let's try
Okay.
that. All right, let's try the intro.
Oh, I already heard something coming
Yeah.
up. Okay.
All right, 3. Intro, 3. And
I like it already.
rolled into town, got off the bus, tailgate came down, there were 6 of us. Unpacked the gear, set the stage, lights went down, and we rocked the place. Oh, 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 oh.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, oh, oh. We could do that different. We could do it more where
Oh,
it was
I
like a
liked it.
guitar. No, we could go, oh, down, down, down. Like it's a reply. Brown, down, down.
Chorus.
All right.
Are we doing a chorus or are we going to do another verse?
No, I think we should do a chorus. So here's my idea. You've been doing this forever. I've been doing it forever.
All right, go ahead.
You still love it. Still love getting up there and rocking.
Right.
You love the interaction with the audience. You love that immediate
Most of the time,
response.
yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, most of the
Go ahead,
time.
go ahead.
So now I'm picturing, here's the band on stage. We're kicking ass. We're drinking, whether it's shots, whether it's Jack, whether it's beer, whatever it is. And it's just that simple. So maybe a title is, after all this time, I still love this, or after all these years. Maybe it's after all these years.
I like years.
Okay, years is better than time.
After
all these years,
After all these years.
I'm still standing here, or I'm still up
I'm
here.
still standing here.
Now, right here, we need like a little. All right, so let's. So I definitely I like that after all these years, I'm still standing here. So where are we? We're on stage, right?
Yes.
Because we want to try to make a little movie.
I got you.
All right, so there's the audience. So
Got it.
in right here, we can have something about the audience, or we can have something about us on stage.
No, it's all about us
Okay.
now.
So what if it was I'm thinking Nashville because, well, here too in Florida, the tip jar. Everybody's got a tip jar. So maybe it's after all these years, I'm still standing here between the tip jar and a beer. After all these years.
Okay, got it. I'm getting into this.
Okay, so
who's going to remember these lyrics?
I don't know.
I'm going to grab my drum. Keep going. So play the lick.
After all these years, I'm still standing here between the tip jar and the beer. I'm still standing here after all these years. Standing here. Okay, so we'd have to do after all these years. I'm still standing here. Maybe something like that.
I'm still standing. Do the chorus again.
3 and after all these years, I'm still standing here between the tip jar and the beer. I'm still standing here after all these years. I'm still standing here.
I think we should throw a drum solo in right here.
No.
I like it.
Here's this is I'm just being funny now, guys. It's the band Southern Blood, right?
Oh,
So we're gonna go back and see if we got this, but it just hit me while you were doing that when you said drum solo.
Yeah.
What if you had a breakdown? I'm thinking crowd. Okay, this is not your radio hit. This is crowd.
And are you doing the,
Well, that's a sing-along part, which
Okay,
we
go ahead.
wanted. What if we had, this is probably from another song or some show.
They're all from another song.
But
Go
what
ahead.
if we had, I'm still standing. You're going to laugh.
I'm laughing at all of it. Don't matter.
Okay, ready? I have no idea, but here we go. Everybody put your hands in the air. Oh,
Oh, you're talking like a rap kind of
yeah,
thing?
like everybody put your hands in the air.
Please
Oh,
don't-
I know. Everybody put your hands in the air and say yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody put your hands in the air. Southern Blood's kicking ass. Oh yeah. Everybody put your hands in the air. Air. Oh yeah.
Keep going. One more time.
Everybody put your hands in the air.
Now the chorus.
Southern Blood's kicking ass. Oh yeah. After all these years, I'm still standing here between a tip jar and a beer. I'm still standing here after all these years. I'm still standing here. Anyway, I was just kidding about the breakdown, but in the middle,
No, don't kid about it because that's something that would work.
you know. So let's go back to the introduction. Thanks for bearing with us, folks. We're just having fun. I don't know if I'll remember what we sang, but let me just get it in
Well,
my
luckily
head.
it's being recorded. Hopefully, Jason. Jason, not that we had an issue with that once before, but Jason, are you sure we're recording?
I'm positive.
All right, good.
Okay, I'm just trying to
Well,
remember.
let me elaborate a little bit on what we just did.
Okay.
So for the folks out there that are actually listening, hopefully there's a few of you that are. Keith has a long history of doing this, and this is really cool to witness how it kind of works. Every situation is different. This is just this situation, an idea, a vision. You hear how he talked about it, talking out loud about what his thought was, where he kind of wanted to go. It's really cool. And the biggest songs in the world are the simplest songs in the world. Can I show an idea out there, or not?
Hold it.
Analogy.
Yeah.
Tennessee Whiskey. Same two chords over and over. I think it's A and B minor. The whole song does not change. Groove a little bit. The melody obviously moves. The hook moves. One of the biggest songs in the world. Probably every cover band internationally has covered it.
Yeah.
It's an example. It's a storyline. It's about sobriety. He just has an idea. It moves. It sings. The melody sings. No big guitar leads. nothing. It goes right from a verse to a chorus. It's amazing. So I just use that as an analogy.
The one thing, that's a great analogy, and I think the one important thing to remember when you're writing, and I have to tell myself this all the time, don't be afraid to throw an idea out there. Because when I first started, getting songwriting sessions in Nashville, man, I didn't want to say anything because I'd be like with these great lyricists, and I couldn't do any of that like them. One thing I learned, though, an idea that you're afraid to say or a line you may think is silly or cheesy, it might be the thing that makes that co-writer go, oh, man, but if we just change this one word, and then bang, you got magic, you got gold. So never be afraid. I've been in writing sessions where people that are way better lyricists than I am, and they say some of the cheesiest shit, and you just go, really? And all of a sudden, somebody else goes, if we just change this, and bang, and you got a home run. So never be afraid to try a music change, a lyric change, a title. Listen, you can't copyright the title. They've all been done in one form or fashion. So, if you have a title, that's another thing too, titles. I have some friends that they're just purists, and they won't even come close to doing a title that's been done. I know other people that have had great success. They'll take a title. What was that song by Whitesnake, In the Still of the Night? I remember when I first heard that, I went, wasn't that a song in the 50s? Well, the title was it 50s or 60s? There was a big, I can't remember how it goes right now. Anyway.
In the still of the night.
There you go.
Whatever that was.
And meanwhile, Whitesnake has Still of the Night. So anyway, I guess my point is don't be afraid ever, if you're just getting going, to put something out there.
Especially if it's your own.
Yeah.
Don't listen to what anybody else has to say. You think when Toby Keith was in the studio and said, Red Solo Cup, we'll fill you up. Let's have a party. I mean, if you would have told me, if you would have wrote that down on a piece of paper as a Red Solo Cup, I'll fill you up. Let's have a party. I wouldn't think that's a hit song. One of his biggest songs ever. So what does it tell you, everybody? Keep songwriting. Stay inspired. Find something that inspires you.
Do your thing and just don't be afraid to co-write. You'd be amazed at how much you write, how much you learn writing with other people. It's sometimes you find out that you might have a co-write and that didn't go so great. So my suggestion would be this. If I know Jimi's the singer, I'm the guitar player. If we're doing a ballad, I may have a piano player show up for the writing session. So you want your co-writers to have other strengths that maybe you don't have or you do have, but they're stronger. And in my opinion, you get the best songs that way. So in the meantime, before we forget what we just did, we're just going to go back. Let's try to at least run it through and get it up to this point. And maybe in a future episode, we'll come back on and we'll get to the second verse. Now we might have a breakdown section.
Or I'll bring in some sax.
Whoa.
I'll bring in a bass player.
I say we bring in like a dobro
player, or a fiddle?
Yeah, a fiddle, absolutely.
All right, so good.
All right, we're going to try this again from the beginning. I hope it's been somewhat educational and inspiring, and most of all, I hope it's been a little fun watching the two goofballs come up with a song, okay? Anyway, I guess it's going to be called after all these years at the moment. Here we go. 3, intro. Rolled into town, got off the bus, tailgate came down, there were 6 of us. Unpacked the gear, set the stage, lights went down, and we rocked this place. After all these years, I'm still standing here between the tip jar and the beer. Oh, I'm still standing here after all these years. I'm still standing here.
I want to thank everybody for coming out and seeing us. for subscribing. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. You tuning in has been awesome. Make sure you check us out on YouTube or on Facebook. Also Instagram. Want to thank our friends, our producer, Jason. Jason, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Keith Ridenour, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah, baby.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys. Have a great day. And
Here we go.
let's do the chorus.
After all these years, I'm still standing here
Just standing here, baby.
between a tip jar and a beer. I'm still standing here after all these years. I'm still standing here. Woo!
Thanks, everybody.
Take care, guys.
Stick around.
Bye.
Thank you. Stick around. I said stick around. Why did I say stick around? Why did I say stick around?
It's all right.
Oh, you got to put that in there, by the way. Yeah, why did I say stick around?